People only think about me today for that one mistake, but in fact I've made many mistakes that I'm never credited for. I was opening shops in Holland, and the jewellery business is all about Christmas. We lose money for 11 months of the year. The only time we make any money is in December, where our sales go mad. Anyway, so in Holland we were doing very well in the summer. Christmas comes around and the sales remain exactly as they were in the summer. There's no uplift like there is in the UK. So I phone up the bloke who's running it and I said, what's going on there in Holland? Don't they exchange Christmas presents? He says, no. We don't. Didn't you know that? I said, no, I probably wouldn't have bought your business if I knew that I was going to lose money for the 12 months of the year rather than just the 11. So it's always important to research a new venture. Anyway, undeterred, after conquering Europe, I decided to attack America, and I bought 500 shops called K's. And my stockbroker said, Gerald, you cannot issue Ratner's shares to do this deal because of your Dutch debacle. So I said, well, I don't want to get into debt. 500 million pounds, I think it was. So he said, well, you can issue convertible shares. At the moment, your shares are £4.20. Just issue them at a head of price, £6.50. They'll reach that price in 3 years. You'll have a 3-year window for them to achieve that, and just issue them at a higher price, then everyone will be happy. So I issued them at £6.50. And because I made the speech, instead of them going to £6.50, they went to 2p. And it converted to debt with a very high interest coupon, a penalty, because if your shares didn't, you had a penalty thing, and it ended up, I owed about £1 billion, which was a lot of money in those days. And I had got the sack, and it was 5 years since I'd worked. I'd given up, basically, and one day, it was about, I was sacked in 1992, it was about 1996, and I was lying in bed watching Countdown. It was the highlight of my day, and there was a knock on my bedroom door. Strange enough, it was my wife, and who else would it be? Luckily. And she said, could I have a word with you, Gerald? So I said, well, actually, I'm a bit busy at the moment. I'm just working out this conundrum, and also, there's an advert that we need to see about consolidating all our debts under one easy monthly payment. She said, unless you get a job, I'm going to really, well, basically throw you out. She said, I'm fed up with you lying around all day looking miserable and not shaving and not even getting dressed. It's just awful. And I said, that's strange that you're going to throw me out because I'm always here, because my first wife threw me out because I was never at home. But anyway, she wasn't impressed with that. And I wrote to 20 companies with a great CV offering my services. And I got 21 rejections. One company, the finance director and the chief executive, both felt that they should both write to me and said, let's make this absolutely clear. There's no question whatsoever of you coming to work for us, and please don't mention to anybody that you did write to us. We don't want to be associated with you. So I realised at that point that I had to be my own boss. And I'd been doing a bit of cycling around, and I wanted to make some money because I'd boasted to the press that I was going to make £10 million in 5 years after I left Ratners. And, you know, I was under a bit of pressure because with about a week to go, I was tantalisingly about 9,999,000 short of my target. Anyway, I found this site in Henley-on-Thames on an industrial estate, which I felt would work well as a luxury health club. It could convert. So I went to the estate agent and said, I'd like to rent this property. And they said, well, it's $65,000 a year. I didn't have any money, but I said, oh, that's not a problem, because I didn't think I'd have to pay the rent straight away. He said, but you can't rent it anyway because you're an individual, you're not a company, the landlord wouldn't trust you to pay the rent. So I said, well, what do? They said, well, you can buy the freehold for £750,000. And I worked out I needed £500,000 to convert it to the luxury health club that I wanted it to be, and, you know, swimming pool and everything. So I went to the bank and I said, I'd like to borrow £1.25 million, please. And the bank manager basically told me to sod off. I mean, he said that it's a stupid idea, and coming from you, it's even more stupid. He didn't even offer me a cup of tea and a biscuit. And so I was a bit depressed, not for the first time, and I put an advert in the Henley Standard, more or less. I lived in this sort of water-mitty world, thinking that, you know, I had raised the money when I hadn't. I don't know why. And I put this advert in the paper. You have to fool yourself when things are so bad. Anyway, so I put an advert in the paper, and I said, if you join my club, a club which I didn't own, didn't have the money to own, it's just a place up the road, had no prospects for it. If you join my club, there's no joining fee. I was very generous like that. It's just £42 a month, and I waived the £150 joining fee. And alongside that was a few drawings of how the club was going to look, artist drawings. And I made it look fabulous after all. You know, it doesn't cost anything to draw it better than it would have been. And I drew this fabulous gym and an outdoor swimming pool, jacuzzi, restaurant, terrace, beauty area, aerobics. It's the best gym you've ever seen, on paper anyway. So, and everyone got very excited about this. And they signed up. I got 800 people signing away direct debits to join this club that didn't exist, that I said was going to open in 3 months. So I went back to the bank and I said, you've got to lend me the money. I've got 800 people wanting this club and have signed up direct debits. He says, what part of the word no don't you understand? I went to 7 more banks. They all said no. The 9th bank that I went to said, Gerald, I'm going to lend you the money. I said, that's fantastic. Why is that? He says, because my wife's joined your bloody club.